Good afternoon and hello to the participants of this annual 10th Annual International Conference on Material Science and Environmental Engineering. My introduction is I'm Professor Fahim Uddin at the Asian Institute of Fashion Design, Iqra University, main campus, Karachi. I am graduate from the Karachi University in Applied Chemistry and PhD from University of Manchester, UK. Right. Today, the topic I am going to present is the road to paper publication in a research journal. Right. Slide number 2. The content in this presentation include the aim, the scope, introduction, what the research paper is, publishing delays, manuscript from non-native English authors, a manuscript rejection, influence of manuscript history on citation, and peer review effect. Right. The aim of this presentation, that I'm talking about road to the paper publication in a research journal. The aim are introduction to the manuscript submission and its processing, the emerging concern in recent time with the processing of the manuscript acceptance or rejection, and any other influence of manuscript history on its citation. The scope of the presentation is to discuss the important recent concern associated with the manuscript submission and its processing, related with the acceptance or rejection, with particular reference to the science and engineering discipline. Slide number 5, your track for the journal publication, and slide number 6, introduction. Research is a sustainable knowledge production process that provide the important information, data, and achievements on a scientific topics in the development or the modeling of the scientific theories, concept, and the projects. In recent time, all over the world, the number of universities has increased, and the number of faculty and the researchers involved in the production and publication of the research manuscript has increased. For example, in the case of the Pakistan, in 1947, there was only one university in Pakistan, that was the University of Punjab. In 1997, that is after 50 years of the Pakistan creation, there were total 35 universities in the country. And just after 25 years, the number of universities from 35 it's increased to 174 only in 25 years. So that shows the increase in the number of universities and the working faculty members and researchers that are associated with the production of the research manuscript and publication. Moreover, the worldwide number of the scholarly documents has increased significantly. In 2014, there were 114 million scholarly articles in English language, and there are 100 million scholarly articles on Google, and out of them, the 114 million scholarly articles, 12 to 50% of these articles are freely accessible, and they cover the important scientific disciplines. In recent time, the free availability of scholarly articles through the open access further provide the support to the free access. The one of the major concern or the important concern in the publication of the research manuscript is the delay in the publishing process. Principally, publishing a research paper publication is a form of recognition and making the record of the research work. But in most cases, uh, the, there is a long time taken in the publication of the submitted manuscript, and the researcher associated with the work and the funding sources in several times want the publication as soon as possible. So the publishing delay is an important concern for all the researchers. The study of an average publishing delay in 2,700 papers, that is slide number 10. In 2,700 papers over 135 journals, those were the Scopus citation index, revealed the shortest delay in science, technology, and medical journals, and the longest delay in the social science, art, humanities, and business economics. Another study covered the journals published by the Indian Academy of Sciences, 10 scholarly journals having paper-based publishing. That's an important part of the journal types. Paper-based publishing, 10 important journals were studied, and there were 2,986 articles examined, published in 10 journals during the period 2014 to 2018. The highest time delay was observed in the proceedings of the mathematical science in 2014 and 18, and the lowest time delay was observed in the current science journal, that was 7.1 month plus minus 3.2 months in 2014, and the Journal of Chemical Science in 2018. The total publication delay, starting from the editorial evaluation, peer review, revision, and the final publication, the total publication delay time on an average range from 11.1 plus minus 5.3 months into 2014, and 12.8 plus minus 7.0 months in 2018. So that's the significant delay in the publication of the manuscript. Another study of publishing delay spread over 13 journals produced by CSIR, NISCAIR, CSIR, NESCAIR. The study showed that the most cases the delay occurred between revision and subsequent publication. After the revision of the manuscript, there was a delay till the subsequent publication. Total publication delay from first submission to the journal till the publication ranged from 5.2 months to 22.4 months. That's nearly 2 years. Now, another issue, the concern in the publication of the research manuscript in recent time is the manuscript from the non-native English authors. There are several authors for them the English is not an mother language or the native language. That could be the burden for them to produce the good, to produce a good manuscript, to produce an acceptable manuscript in short time. The language burden can be higher than relative to the native speaker. This problem is particularly more important in the review and discussion papers as compared to the experimental or data work, where relatively, as compared to the review paper, there is less discussion for the non-native speakers. Importantly, it was indicated in one study of 15 SCI index journal that a larger part of journal recommended corrections was superfluous, that was not changing the core of the paper or the text. Articles require the revision by the journal in terms of substitution, correction, addition, deletion, and rearrangement, and 4 lexico-grammatical corrections including morpheme, word groups, and clause. Superfluous corrections were the second most frequent changes in the manuscript. Another concern in the processing of the scientific manuscript submission to the journal is the manuscript rejection. That's slide number 14. A number of journals build a stronger position with good impact factor and funding sources. It is easier for such journals to reject an increased number of manuscripts at submission to the editorial level. However, the less encouraging for the authors are those without any helpful argument that may be useful in manuscript enhancement or giving any redirectional support. That is, rejecting the manuscript without giving sufficient argument why it was rejected, so that any benefit could be received to the authors for improving the manuscript. So that's an important concern in the rejection of the manuscript when not significant help is received for the improvement of the manuscript. It is possible that the large number of manuscript rejection is not an indicator of the journal prestige. Rejection of manuscript may be discouraging for prospective authors. However, it is more disappointing when it happens following several months, losing the time. Slide number 15. Manuscript rejection, another concern, long and historical context retained by the long and historical context, retained funding and sponsorship support, and the flawed indicator of the impact factor may be the foundation to carry the high rejection by the some of the known journals. However, the emergence of comparable new journals that secured the reputation in scientific community provided place for the alternate submission. It is important to indicate that justice will be lacking in comparing a journal launched in 2010 with a journal that was introduced in 1990. Institutional faculty and researchers who are technically sound and linguistically non-native English speakers may find good journal publication more challenging. Now, another concern in the manuscript processing is the peer review stage. Generally, the peer review is more trusted level to select best possible publishable content. Passing the initial editorial evaluation, the manuscript is moved to the peer review. A study of the famous chemistry journal Ange Wante Shemi International Edition, that's abbreviation ACIE, a reputable chemistry journal worldwide, was a study was conducted based on the citation analysis for the communications accepted by the journal and 878 or rejected and published elsewhere manuscripts, and is equal to 979. The purpose of the study was to see if best possible content was selected. Most of the journals describe the best acceptable manuscript, and this study was to see if that was possible, that the selected or accepted manuscript were best. It was concluded that peer review process at the Ange Wante Shami International Edition selected the best publishable research in chemical science. So this journal was working okay. And impact of the peer review was studied for the Royal Society journals from 2006 to 2017, and the results showed the number of the reviewers had linear effect on the manuscript chain. That is, more the number of the reviewers, higher is the chance of increasing the quality of the manuscript. Irrespective to the initial quality of the manuscript, whatever was the quality of the manuscript, the number of the reviewers was showing a linear improvement in the quality of the manuscript. So it's an important thing that the contribution of the reviewers was significant. Importantly, the reviewers' effect improved the chance of receiving the citation. That's important. The peer review process improved the chance of citation. Improvement made by the reviewers introduced a tendency to be cited by at least once. It was obvious that studying the influence of peer review, that's the slide number 18. Studying the influence of peer review would show more interesting results when covering the larger sample of journals. It is recommended that the peer review effect should be investigated over a larger number of the sample journals. Peer review is a complex process and its effects on manuscript processing, publishing time, citations received, and journal reputation, etc., all are needed to be evaluated. These are the important factors that can be evaluated. How the peer review is affecting these factors, that is the publishing time, citation received, journal reputation, are the important factors. Slide number 19, that is the conclusion. The innovative publishing models of research journal and an increased number of the universities and research units resulted in an improved number of the manuscripts submitted for publications. In recent time, the number of the university department, research institutes, and the facilities are extended for the academic and the research work, so the manuscript number is also increased. Important emerging concerns are observed associated with the manuscript submission and processing for the publication in research journal. Publishing delay, non-native English authors manuscript rejection, and peer review effects are introduced and discussed in this presentation. And some other important concern also include these multiple authorship. Currently, the number of authors has increased. There are several authors in recent times seen forging the manuscript and the extending the conference presentation in journal paper. So these factors are also discussed and comprehensively provided in the full copy of the paper that is submitted to the this conference publication journal MSEE 2022, right? And with this I pay my thanks to the listeners. In the last slide number 20, I have given the contact details, my email's address. You are most welcome if you have any inquiry. And I missed the participation in this conference due to my quite busy and lots of already running engagements. It was not possible to visit physically the conference. I am grateful to the MSEE 2022 organizers to provide me the opportunity to share these important aspects that are related with the publication and the processings of the research manuscript in research journals. And that's all. Thanks again. That's the end of the presentation. Okay.